And today in Think Big and Go Global with me is another very special guest, Anne Dawson. She is the founder and the CEO of Sell with Integrity. Anne, welcome to Think Big and Go Global. We're going to talk a lot about thinking and the whole journey.
Mirela, it's an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for inviting me.
It's so great to have you here. And I am so excited to learn all about your story. We've been talking behind the scenes.
We have indeed.
You come from Scotland, yeah?
Yes, born and raised in Glasgow. And quite a hard life, really, as most people. But I didn't think I had a hard life. I thought this was life for everybody, but it's only in retrospect you think, actually, that was quite tough. My dad was an alcoholic, and he was a big man, and, you know, it was tough growing up. I'm not saying we were like, you know, he was painting the walls with us every night or anything like that, but it was tough. It wasn't easy. My sister, in turn, became an alcoholic as well, at a very young age. And when it came to leaving my mum, I loved my mum to bits. And I always was like, I can't say I want to leave home, because if I say I want to leave home, that'll really hurt her. And my sister at the time, she was like, well, I'm going to go into nursing, because you have to go into student accommodation. So she said, then I won't hurt her that way. And I was thinking, I don't know what I'm going to do. Anyway, I was working in the hotel and restaurant business at the time, and I met a Frenchman.
And this is where you had to take a decision to leave home.
I did.
How old you were at that time?
I met him when I was 19, which, yeah, I mean, he was a great guy, but it should never have happened. Anyway, he was...
What happened, by the way?
Well, so he was my ticket. He was let's go to the south of France. And I thought, well, this is good, because I'm not going to hurt my mum. And I'm going to
have a reason.
I've got a reason. And she was really happy, and yeah, everything was tickety-boo. And I went off to the south of France, not speaking any French at the time at all. And
so you go, okay, wait, before you go there. So you go to south of France, you're getting married in a big church, and there was a moment which I got to know that your father is asking you a big question. What was that?
So I'm standing in my wedding dress. We've just got out the car. We're standing at the top of the aisle. And, well, actually, he said two things. He said to me, this is the 3rd of September. Do you know that this was the year that Hitler declared war on Poland? And I was just thinking,
it's my wedding.
Yes, my wedding
I need to know this.
Next question. You know, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. We can easily, I'll turn round with you, we'll get back in the car, and we'll go and drive off and have lunch somewhere.
And what did that mean to you?
That meant I could get out of this if I don't want to do it.
Did you want to do it?
No, I didn't really, but I looked down, and at the front of the church, on the right-hand side, was my mother with a big red hat on. Now, she'd been going on about this red hat for about 6 months.
And you were thinking?
And I thought, she'll kill me if I don't go through with this, because
she wouldn't. And I can't let my mum down.
And that sounds really silly, but I did. I thought, I can't, I've just got to do it. You know, you'll upset too many people. But as I walked up the aisle, I remember thinking, well, I can always get divorced.
Yeah, I can always find an exit. I've heard this story many times where women don't want to do it, and they start making plans to leave before they even get in.
Yeah, exactly.
That's very interesting, Anne. But another thing that I'm picking up here is your mum. So you are telling me that you didn't want to upset your mum, not once, but many times. You did things and thinking all the time, is my mum happy? Is that true? So how was that connection with your mum? Why did you always had that feeling that you can't let your mum down?
She just had an incredibly difficult life with my father. And so there's my sister, who's an alcoholic, who's gone the same way as my father. And then my brother had a really, really bad mental breakdown. I mean, really bad. And
you had to be strong.
Yeah, but I also didn't want to be there. But I felt guilty for not wanting to be there. It was really painful and hard. So when I came to London, And we came from
you
France,
went to France,
came to London.
And making plans, how do I get an exit after I get in?
Well, I didn't
but
even...
you came to London.
Yeah, but I didn't even think about getting an exit from the marriage at that time. I just thought, well, I'm stuck.
Yeah.
And I've got a great job and my mum's really proud of me. And it wasn't the fact that she was really proud of me. It was the fact she was really happy. And I would bring her down to London and we'd go to these lovely restaurants, and I had a very good job at the time. We'd go to all these restaurants and she was just beaming. She was absolutely beaming. And then I thought, this is all going to end badly when this marriage falls apart.
Do you think that your mom, the best moments on her life were like when she was with you and you're treating her? And that was so important.
I know that sounds awful, but without a doubt, I remember giving her a card for her birthday, and I'd secretly planned to take her to Rome. It's the one place she always wanted to go, but I didn't want her to know. So I said, I'm coming up for your birthday. Have you got a passport? She's like, yeah. I said, no, it's just the venue we're going to. They're a bit fussy, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I flew up to Glasgow, and I gave her a card with a picture of the Vatican on it. And she looked at it and she said, are we going to St Andrew's Golf Course? And I was like, no, we are not going to St Andrew's Golf Course. Don't you recognise where that is? And she just burst into tears and ran upstairs. And she cried the whole 5 days we were there. She just sat there bawling her eyes out because she couldn't believe she was there. And that just really made it for me. And you know what? The next year I did the same thing because I thought she wouldn't be expecting it twice in a row. So I did the same thing.
You're such a great daughter, and I can feel the connection that you had.
She was
with your
amazing.
mom was amazing.
She was just so lovely.
So then from France you moved to London.
Back to
What
London. Marriage fell apart. Was still doing okay at the time, and then I got into a really bad relationship that I should never have gotten into. And he was fairly abusive, but I had 2 children with him.
So with the first marriage, no
there was
children.
No.
With the second relationship, no marriage, but 2 children.
And the last time I saw him, the police were called, let me put it that way. And I didn't call them. So it was neighbours that called them.
Did you marry again?
I did. This sounds like... I did. Do you think I would have learned by now?
It's a great story.
No, I did. A few years later, so I'm single mum with 2 children, 2 little boys, and this man comes in and absolutely sweeps me off my feet, and the boys fall in love with him, and he falls in love with the boys. But even then, Mirela, I was just thinking, maybe she'd wait. Is this right? But I went into it, and I was in it for life because I had become sorry, that sounds like very grand, a woman of faith then. No way would I have been entertaining divorce or any of this. But fast forward.
Do you think that we as women also, we settle for little, even though, you enter a relationship and you're thinking, is that what I always wanted? And maybe you don't give 10 out of the 10, but you still feel like...
No, because you look at your 2 boys that are playing on the carpet with somebody after an abusive scenario, and you look at this and you think, oh, they really love him and he really loves them.
You're not there just for you anymore.
No, you're not. And I think from day one, really, I'm actually realising this now as we chat, maybe it was from day one, I was always there for my mum.
And then you were there for the kids.
Yeah, and that's not to make me a big whatever. But anyway, fast forward, I'm with him, everything's tickety-boo, we have another child, I've got 3 boys. And then my brother, who was very ill with the mental breakdown, my mother had been looking after him. My father had died. My sister fell down the stairs age 41 and died of a fractured skull on the radiator. So you've got my brother who's ill. My sister's no longer with us. Then my mother died. And
how did you experience that?
That my world collapsed. But again, I was really concerned about my brother because I had to go. I remember you know, when you put your bag through security and it comes out the other end. I'd got a call that day at work, and my manager called me in, and it was all a bit of a mad panic, and he said the hospital are on the phone, picked it up, and they said, if you want to see your mum, you're going to have to come now. So straight away, I got in a taxi to the airport. But as I was putting my bag through, and my phone came out the other end, it was 121. So I knew somebody had left me a message, and it was my cousin telling me that my mum had just died.
Oh, you didn't manage to see her?
No, but I knew I had to go up because it was my brother. And if my mother was my world, she was everything to him because she looked after him. So I had to go up and tell him that mum had died.
But it feels that you had this kind of responsibility,
yes,
and all this in your shoulders to keep the family together. So why you?
But there wasn't anybody else, sorry. Maybe there wasn't anybody else.
You could choose anything else. You could choose to be alcoholic. You could choose any other path. What do you think drove you to become that person with that level of responsibility, but also take your life to a different direction?
Well, I always wanted to make my mum proud. Always wanted to make my mum proud. And when I got the job at QVC, oh my goodness.
Tell us about QVC now.
Wow. Well,
How did you end up there?
Well, I saw they were doing open auditions, and I phoned up. They've never done this again. I don't know whether that's because they got me or not, but I don't think so. They were doing open auditions, and it was the days of fax, yeah? And I saw on this fax, and they were open, so she booked me in, and she said there's 500 over 2 days, 250 the first day, 250 the second day. And I went, well, I phoned my mum. I said, Mum, I've got a new job. And she said to me, what is it? I said, I'm going to be working on QVC. Now, neither of us had heard of QVC. She was like, what's that? I said, it's a shopping channel. I said, but it's going to be great. And and she said, so have they offered it to you? I said, no, I haven't even been for the first audition yet. But something in me just said, this is the one. Is it. Sales experience, bring it to the cameras. I know I can do this. So I went along, and out of 500, they were calling 6 back for a second audition. And I dropped my phone when I got that call, and my phone smashed into smithereens. I was that excited when I got the call. They brought me in for the second audition, and then they offered me the position, me and one other guy.
Wow.
And he's still there.
And that was the beginning of something completely new.
That was the beginning of something completely different. And my mum, she used to talk to me. She would watch me in the evening, and then when it was time for her to go to bed, she'd say, I'm really sorry, Anne, I can't stay up any longer. I'm so tired, I've got to go to bed.
I'm just loving this relationship that you had with your mum. This is incredible.
She was
I
the
think
best.
she's always around you.
She's the best.
She's your aura.
Yeah, she was the best.
And how did that career go with QVC?
Well, amazing. 26 years.
26 years.
No take two. No, I fluffed the line. Not one product, not one company, not one service, but millions and millions of pounds and millions of products.
And I think now you have become a queen of sales, yeah?
Well, I actually think it's quite simple.
You love it, yeah?
But I think it's much more, I think we complicate it. And
so
we
tell
make
us,
it really
now you
difficult.
just founded the Selling with Integrity. Tell us about sales, everything about sales.
Okay,
what did you learn?
What happened, just to bring us to that point, my brother died a year ago. And then come May this year, I just thought, what am I doing? I'm facilitating a wonderful lifestyle. I get paid a lot of money to do this. It's easy, but I've always wanted to do more. And I thought, you know what? You're just going to have to jump, kid. You're just going to have to get out the boat and sink or swim. So I decided to do that. I thought, well, what can I do? And I thought, well, I've got a sales background for over 40 years, but the last 26 have been in live television. And I thought, surely there's something I can do with both. Yeah. But I wasn't quite sure what. And then I noticed when I was saying, well, I'm probably going to teach selling. And you see the reaction on people. It's like, oh, right. That's interesting.
So
That's good.
By the way, why do you think people don't like selling?
Because people are frightened that people won't like them. People are frightened they'll feel uncomfortable. People don't want to pressurize or be pushy because it's, do we enjoy selling? And if the answer is usually a no, why not?
Why not?
And the second question is, do you enjoy being sold to? And if you don't...
That's why you don't like selling.
That's why you don't like selling. And it's for the same reasons. It's tactics, it's techniques, it's the 5 closes, it's the 6 this, it's the 7 whatever. And I really do believe that we can sell ethically, honestly, and always with integrity. If you dig deep in your product and you dig really deep in yourself, you will reframe your whole approach so that it's a service that you're giving. But I don't say that lightly. It's like impostor syndrome goes out the window. How can you, if you know your product is brilliant, if you know that you've got a great offer, and you know that you're the person to be bringing that offer, where on earth is this imposter syndrome coming from? Because those are the voices that go, why are you doing this? You shouldn't be there. So what I like to do is I take people on a journey, usually over 6 weeks, and we go right back to the beginning. And you, on that journey, will discover why you're doing what you're doing, why it's you that's doing what you're doing, why are you doing that and not that? Why are you selling cakes and not window polish? What made you choose that?
There's always a why. And I can notice your energy started changing because I can see how much you love this.
It's always the why and never the how. The how is, hey, do it this way. Here's my strategies. Here's my technique. The why is what grounds you, and the why is what people...
And many people maybe don't know the why.
No, because they've never looked at the why. They've got a product and look, how can I sell it? And it's all about going back to the beginning. And I'm very excited, and I've had a really great start to this.
That's amazing, because what I see here is like, yes, the confidence you have in the product, but you have to dig deeper in yourself. So why people hesitate to do that?
Well, sometimes I think we're scared of what we might find.
I like that.
To be honest.
I like that.
That's just the truth. It's like, well, no, just, fingers in the ears, don't want to listen. This is just the best thing. This is just easy. Let me marry you. Yeah, la, la, la. Mum's got a big red hat on, but that doesn't matter. We'll deal with that problem as and when it comes. We don't want to dig deep. Because what if we dig deep? What if we dig deep in our product and it's the wrong product? Well, that's when I'll say to you...
But did you dig deep into yourself? Did you deal with all the challenges that you had in the past and you
deal a lot with it. You don't sit down and, how do you eat an elephant? One bit at a time. You don't sit down and do the whole lot.
Yes.
You do it as and when things come up.
But you take yourself in a journey.
You take yourself in a journey. And when you know how to take that journey and you know the stops on that journey and you know the destination where you're trying to get to, that's when you can say to the others, get on board.
So what would be your best advice that you would give to somebody? Let's say we have an audience of entrepreneurs, female founders, women who are in business, and men, of course, who want to grow their business, but they still are resisting sales. How can they love sales?
How can they love? You love sales.
I do, yes.
I know.
Now, yes, but I didn't.
You didn't. No, neither did I. Yes. I started selling, knocking on doors. So no, I didn't always love sales.
So what would be the best tip? Where do they start?
Come on a journey. Come on the journey. And I'm not saying that's not the hard sell, because I don't do hard sell. How can I have a course called Selling with Integrity and then use tactics and, funny techniques that are outdated and old scripts? No. Come with me and I will show you how to dig deeper in yourself, how to dig deeper in your product, your approach. We'll pull it all together. And you know what? You'll go out and you'll be comfy. You'll be comfortable. This isn't about getting out your comfort zone. I'm saying get comfy. Because you can't sell if you're not comfortable.
We have got a deal, Anne. Okay, I will be watching. How about you come and teach all the Global Woman members, because they have great products. They have a really great self. They just need to go deeper.
Yeah, a little bit of help on the journey.
A little bit of help. And by selling, because imagine how the world would be if we don't sell.
I know.
So let's sell with integrity.
Absolutely, every time.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Mirela. What a great pleasure to have
Absolutely lovely.
here. You are such a joy, and it's a great pleasure to have you here. And thank you so
much, Mirela. Thank you.